Back at it again. Haiti Economic News Show, Monday to Friday, bringing you news that's going to keep you informed, engaged, and interacting in the most optimal way for your business, investment, entrepreneurial activity. Today's the 16th of April. Let's talk about it. So we have some information that I've been looking at an excuse to go ahead and branch off and discuss, and a series of news stories has given me that opportunity. We're talking about reforestation today. Reforestation. That is topic du jour, right? The stats related to Haiti and the current state of deforestation is pretty stark, right? We had experts saying within 20 years, within 2 decades, Haiti will have zero primary forest, meaning that initial lush, thick, growth that was here, that predated us Africans arriving to this island will be gone in 2 decades. From 1988 or 1986 until 2016, we had a 4.4% primary growth. Right now, we're sitting at 0.32%. 43 out of 50 mountains have zero primary growth. And things just aren't moving in the right direction. It's fueled, for many different, a few different things. I mean, obviously, when the French first came here and they were creating plantations, they were cutting things in mass, right? As time went on, many Haitians used it to heat their homes, heat up food using charbon. During some eras, for example, during Duvalier, there was a massive effort on his part to cut as many trees as he could around the capital to ensure folks didn't plan revolts, because the hiding out in woods and woodlands and mountains were always a big strategy of a lot of the folks who were looking to overthrow him, at least in his mind, at the very least. And it's only continued as time gone on in terms of poor folks utilizing it to make do. And there's a rather large economy and supply chain of folks out in the countryside who cut these trees down to resell for folks in the city, right? The news really has been about how the government has tried to engage children, school children, to help them replant. In fact, the curriculum has now been engaged, thus that reforestation is a mandatory part of every school child's curriculum in Haiti. And they take a week to 2 weeks out every year to plant, to go out and not only talk about it in their schools and actually get these kids, with actual plants and seedlings and planting them, but also to make field trips to actually plant these things and get in nature. And so, I mean, that is certainly laudable, right? Is it going to be enough? So, in addition to school children engaging in these activities, President Jovenel, since he's gotten to office, has pushed very aggressively what we call Propagation Centers, which are centers that do a few different things, from shade houses, sprouters, composting, fertilizing. It's basically just massive reforestation growth centers that are growing different seedlings that are natural on the Hispaniola Island, to then go and plant across the country. Now, there's supposed to be these centers in every department, and then some departments even getting 2, depending on the level of deforestation. Thus far, since this has been announced, there's been at least 2 inaugurations of these centers. And these centers, I mean, they can, per center, we're looking at potentially 4.5 million seedlings that can be grown per year, right? And so if all 14 would come into effect, certainly we could potentially see a stoppage of the current rate and potentially even growth in the other direction. The effects of deforestation has been tremendous. My episode on Lake Azui If you haven't seen it, do go check it out. One of the reasons why the lake is growing, and this lake is the lake that borders the Dominican Republic in the central of Haiti, just west of Port-au-Prince, and it's been growing massively, and to the chagrin of a lot of some of the agriculture that's supposed to be happening there. A lot of the native animals and plants as well have been affected negatively, and a big part of that has been because of the deforestation. A lot of the water that that would normally get sucked into the ground are just flowing into the lake, and it's throwing off a lot of different things. It's throwing off the climate, and it's certainly just you can see for yourself on that episode, right? From a perspective of someone trying to do agriculture, do business in the country, it's certainly something you have to keep in mind. That a big part of challenge of doing agriculture in Haiti is the fact that a lot of land, because of the deforestation, has had soil that has fortunately, because a big benefit of trees and forestry is that the soil stays rich, stays together, and doesn't get washed away with the lightest storm. That isn't the case with many of the land. So a lot of folks I'm aware of who take agriculture serious, one of the first things they have to do, they have to wait 3 to 4 years while they wait for plants, for some of the bigger trees, bigger shade, because a lot of many crops actually do need some shade. For example, caffeine, cocoa trees need a bit of shade to help them in their early adolescence and onward. And so, you have to wait 3-4 years. That's something you have to keep in mind, is that, again, you have to actually plant certain things and actually help the soil recover and hold long before you're actually able to make, or start planting and start recouping some of these costs when you're going in agriculture, right? But it is something that's absolutely necessary. And one of the things that the government should be doing is certainly, as I know Jamaica and many other countries in the Caribbean do, they provide subsidies to the poorer citizens to receive propane and other alternative fuels to keep those prices of charbon lower than the actual price of charbon, right? The alternatives are lower than the price of charbon. And so right now we don't have that, right? So these initiatives are great, but if you don't get to the root of the issue, which is we have folks who need a fuel source to warm up their waters for baths, to warm up their food, to cook their food, and the entire gamut. Until we attack that particular part, all these other parts won't be as effective, right? But again, in terms of just general analysis, we just keep in mind that, again, whatever business you do, if it comes in the sector of providing alternative fuel, that is something, and keep in mind, if you can provide at a price that is more competitive than charbon, certainly there is an opportunity there for you, not only for the improvement of the Haitian agricultural sector, but just in terms of there's demand, right? There is demand out there. And especially if you can get this product out into the provinces where it's most common, and in the city, because at the end of the day, again, you have folks who are cutting them down and then shipping them here to the city for fuel. The quicker you can get that to market, the higher chances of we can see a change and improvement to the country. So that's my take on the reforestation. I'd like to hear your comments. What exactly does Haiti need to do to improve and get over that hump of where it needs to be? If you like what I'm doing here, give it a like. Know somebody who would like to hear and stay current of what's going on in Haiti, both from an economic perspective and receive analysis in terms of how to make that news yours and use it or protect yourself from it. Link them, send them this video. And as always, subscribe and hit that notification so you get that info as soon as it drops. Until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again.